What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Ask Alex, where this is the show where I take all your questions and answer them right here on this show. I'm your host, Alex Sampson. Today we have a super jam-packed show coming on today. Listen, I got a lot of questions over the weekend, especially a lot of breaking news to talk about on this particular episode. But if you haven't already and you want your question on this particular show, all you have to do is just send me an email at static145910@gmail.com, or you can simply tweet me at Mr. Alex Hampton, or leave a comment under all of my Instagram posts, any one of them, at Mr. Alex Hampton, to get your question here on this show. Now that I've gotten that out the way, let's go ahead and jump into the first question of the day. And the first question comes from a Terry Brooks, and he writes, "Hey Alex, it's now been confirmed that the Joker movie is R-rated. Do you think that this is a smart move for DC to make?" Well, thank you for your question, Terry. So for me, if this movie were in a extended universe, meaning that if this movie was a part of the Justice League, the Suicide Squad, Aquaman, all the movies that come out for the DCEU, if this movie fit that narrative, then I would say that this would be a terrible move for DC. But since this is a standalone Joker movie that doesn't connect to anything and it's its own individual story, this move is amazing. Anybody who's ever read the Joker comic books, they know that the Joker is a ruthless supervillain. I mean, there are things that they do in the comic books with Joker that you really cannot do on screen. And a PG-13 rating is not going to help it. I'm sorry, it's not. And if you're going to do this justice, you have to do it R rating. And what Terry's referring to, that it's been confirmed, Todd Phillips over the weekend posted a picture of Joaquin Phoenix putting on Joker makeup, and under the caption it says, "Putting up the following touches." Under the comment section of that Instagram post, a user from Instagram asked Todd Phillips, "Hey, what is the rating of this movie?" And Todd replied, "It is going to be rated R." And he also said that he wasn't trying to break any news. He assumed that everybody knew that this movie was going to be rated R. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I think this is an amazing decision. Listen, the Joker trailer came out, maybe about a month or two ago, and I'm not going to lie, I wasn't excited for this movie. I said this movie was going to be stupid. This is a waste of money to make. And I saw the trailer, loved the trailer. I enjoyed it for what it was. I really enjoyed this movie, enjoyed the trailer and what we're seeing of the Joker. Now that they're putting an R rating on this movie, I'm not gonna lie, this movie is gonna be bananas. It's going to be bananas. If they're gonna do this movie like they do the Joker in the comic books, oh my God, we are in for an animal that I don't think that we really can bear. And anybody who's ever read the Joker, he's a very disturbing character. Very disturbing, very lethal, and someone you don't want to mess with. So for me, I think that this was a really dope decision. Keep in mind, this is not the first R-rated DC movie. The first R-rated DC movie, I believe, was Watchmen. And that did well. So I think that this movie being R-rated, catching that wave with your Deadpool movies and your Logan movies, this movie will tend to fit in an audience where people are going to go see this movie. So I think this is actually a dope decision by DC. Keep up with the good work. Thank you for your question, Terry. Now let's go ahead and jump to the next question, which comes from a Jennifer Hamrick. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Jennifer. And she writes, "Hey Alex, the Shaft movie did not do too well at the box office this weekend. I saw the movie and it was amazing. Do you think that this is a sign to studios not to make sequels to movies that came out years ago?" Well, thank you for your question, Jennifer. So I have not seen Shaft, so I'm not going to say that the movie is good or bad. I have heard a lot of good things about it, and I've heard a lot of bad things about it. Honestly, this is a project that I really thought it would do well because of nostalgia. I mean, there's a lot of people that I grew up with. There's a lot of people who came way before me who's grew up on the essence of Shaft. And even when the Shaft movie came out with Sam Jackson, the new iteration of Shaft, because he wasn't the original, people loved that movie. So I just assumed that with this movie being a continuation of that previous movie, it would do well. And, you know, this movie, when it came out this past weekend, did $8.3 million, according to Box Office Mojo. Now, that is not good numbers for a movie like this. I'm sure I don't know what the budget for the movie was for this movie, but I'm probably sure they spent more than $8.3 million to go see this movie. So, personally, that tells me that more people are willing to see, like, Aladdin again and all the other movies, or even Men in Black, you know, and I heard Men in Black didn't do too well either. So, overall, before I get into my next point, I wanted to answer the second part of your question when you say, is this an eye-opener for studios to not make a sequel to movies that came out years later? It depends. It really depends, because for me, I think when Bad Boys 3 comes out, I think it's going to do amazing. I really do think it's going to be amazing. If they make a Rush Hour 4, I think it's going to be amazing. So it really does depend. But I think what this movie really relied on was the nostalgia and the new elements to this movie to bring this movie to do really well, because Shaft is a long-time character that goes back from the early or the late 80s to currently now in 2019. So I think this movie was banking on those efforts to bring in high box office numbers. And I'm not gonna lie, the trailers weren't that great. You know, they really didn't spark my interest. I just wanted to see the movie because Sam Jackson is an amazing actor, and I'll watch anything that he's in. So personally, I haven't seen the movie yet, but it's sad that movie did not do too well at the box office. So thank you for your question, Jennifer. Let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from a Grant Hawking, and he writes, "Hey Alex, Jason Momoa has stated that he would love to play Wolverine in the MCU. Do you think Jason can play two comic book characters in different universes? And if Jason does play both characters, doesn't that violate his contract to play two characters in different universes?" Thank you for your question, Grant. That was definitely a lengthy question, and I'll try to break that down for you, Grant. So, I don't know what Jason's contract is. Typically speaking, anytime an actor signs a contract for basically a superhero role, there are guidelines for them to appear and promote the role that they are in, and not necessarily only support their role, but they cannot. I believe that they cannot embark on other roles while they're fulfilling that particular role. I.e., like, I don't believe someone can be Batman and then be Iron Man at the same time. That doesn't work. Well, people say, well, James Gunn directed Guardians of the Galaxy, now he's directing Suicide Squad. Well, he's a director. He's not actually in the movie. Directing is a little bit different than actually starring and acting and doing a whole lot of different things in the movie. That's a whole lot different. So, to answer your first part of your question, it's possible that he can be two characters like Aquaman and Wolverine. But to answer your second part of your question, do I think will violate his contract? Again, I don't know what his contract is, but I will say this. Since Aquaman is the only DCEU movie that's made $1 billion, you can bet your bottom dollar DC does not want Jason Momoa playing Wolverine in any way, shape, or form, because they probably have plans for him to be Aquaman for the next 5 years. And I'm willing to bet in his contract, somewhere in his contract, that he cannot play another character that's on the MCU side while he is embarking as Aquaman. Keep in mind, Aquaman is the only DC movie that has made $1 billion. $1 billion. Justice League didn't do it. BVS didn't do it. Suicide Squad didn't do it. Man of Steel didn't do it. Neither did Wonder Woman. Aquaman is the only billion-dollar movie in that comic book genre universe. So I don't think that DC is going to be too happy for him to play Wolverine, given the fact that he's basically started a franchise with Aquaman. So, but then again, I could be wrong. Again, I don't know what his contract is. I don't know what he signed. So again, I don't know everything. So it's possible that he could play both characters as Wolverine and Aquaman, jumping between universes. It's possible, but again, if I'm an executive at DC, I would not allow him to play a Marvel character until his contract runs up. Now, if his contract runs up and he doesn't want to re-up, he's more than able to play any character that he wants at the MCU. But I don't think that now that he's Aquaman, he's going to be playing any Marvel character at all. So that's just where I'm coming from that. Thank you, Grant, for that amazing question. Now let's jump into the final question of the day, which comes from a Luke Pierce. And he writes, "Hey Alex, it's been announced that Lionsgate is making a Hunger Games prequel to the original series. I think that this is overrated and we already know how the Hunger Games came to be. Do you think that it is necessary for studios to make prequels to existing movies that don't need prequels?" Well, thank you for your question, Luke. So, two things that I want to address here. So, the reason why, and this is just knowledge out here, facts. The reason why studios make prequels to existing series is solely because of money. Which means is that the existing series of the like, say for instance, the Harry Potter series, right? The reason why they develop prequels for that movie because the original series of movies that have come out have done extremely well at box office. And those fans want more of Harry Potter. So what did they decide to do? They decided to make prequels. And personally, that is a good example of why we don't need prequels to certain particular series. We don't. And to jump to what you're asking about the Hunger Games in my opinion do not need a prequel, only because the first Hunger Games movie and the first Hunger Games book, they already explained to us how the Hunger Games came to be, why they are in the situation that they're in. Now, does it go into great detail? Absolutely not. But we know essentially how they got there. So for me, I just think that having them in this particular prequel setting is kind of unnecessary. But again, you have to understand that Hunger Games 1 up into Catching Fire up into the last book, which escapes my mind, those movies have done well at the box office. And what Lionsgate wants as another franchise to build off the existing franchise. That's the only reason why that they want to make a prequels. Now, I agree with you that they don't need to make a prequel for this particular series because we already understand the lore. However, again, from a studio perspective, I think that they should not make this move. They just want to make this move for money. That's the only reason why they're doing this. Now, to answer a second part of this question, how I'm going to come at this, there are certain movies that do need prequels. Even though I don't like the Harry Potter prequels, the Harry Potter prequels have done a really good job setting themselves up to connect them to Harry Potter, to get us a better understanding of why Harry Potter is essentially going through the things that he's going through in his adventures. Essentially. So, even though I think the movies are terrible, it does a good job setting up the lore. Now, I don't agree 100% that there should be prequels to every existing franchise. However, there are some that do it justice. So that's where I'm at with that particular question. Thank you, Luke, for that amazing question. And that is my show today, guys. Thank you guys for watching this jam-packed episode of Ask Alex. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the bell on my channel to get all my notifications that are coming on this particular channel. And also, please let me know what you think of this video. Please comment. Tell me what you think. Let's start a dialogue. I want to hear what you guys think. And also, if you haven't already, please go to my Patreon page and support me on Patreon. I have 2 tiers that you can help support what we're doing here at Momentum Media. In the next coming weeks, I'm going to be dropping a lot of crazy things. Like, I'm about to do this thing so phenomenal. You just have to wait and see. I got some things planned. A lot of cool things are coming to this channel. Thank you guys for watching this video. And as always, please have a blessed day. Thank you guys for watching this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page to get more exclusive content coming from my YouTube channel. And if you want to watch my previous videos, go ahead and click on this video up here or this video down here, where you get to see more exclusive content coming from my channel. Thank you guys for watching this video, and you guys have a blessed day.